Today we're going to learn lesson 8.4, which is finding the volume of rectangular prisms. Now in 6th grade, that is the only shape that we need to learn how to find the volume of, and it's pretty simple. So we're going to get into some more difficult problems right away because I don't underestimate your ability to do this pretty well already. I know some of you may have already learned how to do this. So we're going to kind of breeze through the easy stuff and then we'll get into some trickier types of problems. So the volume of a 3D object is the amount of space inside the shape. Okay, so it's like how much water a pool can hold. It is talking about how many like little package cubes can fit into this box. It's just talking about that space that's inside that we can put things in. Okay. There are two different formulas that we can use to find the volume. They both get you the same exact answer. There's just different situations where it might be easier to use one compared to the other. The very first one is going to be the volume equals the length times the width times the height. So to find the space inside, we take our length times our width times our height. Okay, and that answer is going to be cubed. So it's going to be units to the third, because let's say we have like 5 inches times 5 inches times 5 inches. We have inches times inches times inches, which will give us that inches to the third power. Okay. Our second formula is basically the same thing. It just kind of combines the length times the width. So we have volume equals capital B times H. Okay. Where capital B means the area of the base. Okay, which we find the area of the base by doing the length times the width. Okay, which is why that they are the exact same thing, is because we just replaced length times width with that capital B. Okay, and we'll see some examples. I always like to use this first one because I think it's just the easiest, and you have to use that first one in order to find the area of the base anyways, really, kind of. So I like to use that first one, but there is situations where we need to use the second one, and there is one on this note page that I'll show you. So let's get right to it. We're going to use each formula just so that we know how to use each one in case we do ever need to use that second one. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is write our formula, or our equation. Volume equals length times width times height. Then we're just going to substitute in each of those values for the length, the width, and the height. So our length is 4, our width is 4, and our height is 6. Now you might be asking, Miss Lakin, does it matter what order that they are in? No, it does not, because since we are multiplying all numbers, it doesn't matter if it's 6 times 4 times 4 or 4 times 6 times 4. You're going to get the same number anyways. It might be easiest to group some numbers together first, but that's all. So we'll just go left to right. 4 times 4 is 16 times 6. We have 16 times 6. 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times 1 is 6 plus 3 is 9. So we get our volume equals 96 centimeters cubed to that third power. All right. Now let's do it with our second formula. So we have volume equals area of the base times the height. The volume equals the area of the base, which is 4 times 4, which is 16, times our height, which is 6, which you will see that these are the exact same thing. We don't have to redo the math because that is going to be 96 centimeters cubed. Okay, so they are the exact same thing. Like I said, there's just going to be certain problems where the first one's easier to use, or certain problems where the second one is easier to use. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I don't underestimate your ability to multiply 3 numbers together. Okay, so we're going to move into some trickier numbers like fractions, and then some application problems with word problems. So number 2, letter A. We always start off when we show our work writing that formula. So it should always be volume equals L times W times H. Always, always, always should be our first step. Second step, we should actually give that length number, that width number, and that height number. Now when we multiply fractions, we just multiply across on top and multiply across on the bottom. So you have 7 times 1 is 7 times 5 is 35 as our numerator. Then we have 8 times 2 is 16 times 8. I can just do off to the side. 6 times 8 is 48. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I would get 128. Okay, now this cannot be reduced. The only numbers that 35 is divisible by is, that I know just off the top of my head, is 7 and 5 and 35 and 1. And I know that that's not divisible by 128, so we are good to go. That is our answer. Same idea for letter B. I want you to pause the video, try letter B on your own, and then resume the video to check your answer. All right, so if you're listening to me now, you should already have all this work done. You should have written down your formula. You should have substituted in each of these numbers and multiplied across on top and multiplied across on bottom. 3 times 3 is 9. Times 3 is 27. Make sure we do not do 3 times 3 because there's 3 of them. That's not the same as 3 times 3 times 3. 27. 2 times 2 is 4. Times 2 is 8. Now we're going to notice that this is an improper fraction, so we do want to simplify that. I'm going to just write it over here. If you want to write it up here, if you ran out of space, that's fine too. 8 can go into 27 3 whole times because that would be 24. If we take away 24 of these 27, we are left with 3 eighths left. Our label here is going to be inches to the third, inches cubed. All right, that's pretty much it.